This is FYI on Your TV, brought to you by Hometown News. I'm Kathy Botham. I've got Erin Lee back with me. You are the Executive Director of Lanark County Interval House. Welcome back. You've been here many times before.
I have. Good morning.
And
Nice to
I've
be here.
got Brianne Luckasavitch, and you're new to FYI, but not new to the Lanark County Interval House. You are the Victim Advocate and Public Education Coordinator. Thanks for joining us.
That's right. Thanks for having me.
All right. Now, I initially got a hold of you to be able to talk about your event, Take Back the Night. Brianne, you've never been here before, so maybe you can talk a little bit about what you do at the Interval House.
Sure. So within the role of public education, I support educating our community on the impacts of violence on women and children, and how we all can contribute in ending violence against women and children. And Take Back the Night is one of those events that everybody is welcome to join and do just that.
All right. Now, before we went on air, too, you were telling me you coordinate with the OPP and help out at crisis calls.
Right. Yeah, so for the last few years, a new program called the Victim Advocate Program came into place, and we recognized the need that victims of sexual assault, domestic violence, and human trafficking needed that extra support. And so this program addresses those needs in a really specific way. So we also support police in their role while dealing with victims, while working with victims of this kind. So it's been a really successful program, and we've had over 120 victims served over the last few years.
And I've heard it's very successful because, you know, in times of crisis, somebody like you will show up to help support them as well, and it's not always somebody in a uniform.
Exactly. So working at the shelter for so many years, women and kids know me in the community and know that where my heart is, and it's there to support. So I think that they feel better when they know that somebody from Lanark County Interval House and community support is there behind them and supporting them for sure.
Well, we know here at YourTV how important it is to support our interval houses. And Erin, this isn't your first time here. You've been here many times before. We're going to talk about an event to support Lanark County Interval House too.
Absolutely. I have been honored to be a guest several times, and you're always very mindful of what's going on in your community. You have your finger on the pulse, and we're happy to be able to talk about Take Back the Night. This year happening in person yet again, September the 16th, behind Town Hall in Carleton Place. It is our every year annual event in Carleton Place that's very public and invites people to be part of the solution to end all forms of violence against women and children.
Now, I've got down that it's your 10th year doing this, and Carleton Place, that walk in particular, is very popular and one of the highest attended ones in the world.
I think we're on 13, aren't we?
I'm sorry?
I think we're on 13 years or something.
13? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think we're on 13, and I think it's just important to know that the agency did do Take Back the Night before 2007, and stopped doing it as a result of the community and the pressures and trying to do everything and be all encompassing. And then in 2000, when I came in 2008, we resurrected that and said, you know, we have to be in a community where our community remains central to the solution. So we are very fortunate to have lots of attendees, and last year we showed our community strength, right? And we decided that we were going to do it in person, Take Back the Night, and that COVID wasn't going to stop us from demonstrating that we have a bigger issue. This pandemic, this epidemic of violence has been going on for a really long time, and we needed to come together. So we did an art piece where people were able to decorate, if you will, decorate masks to offer messages around COVID and violence, and we have that hanging in our agency as a reminder to the strength of our community. This year we will be doing it again at 6 o'clock behind Town Hall. We will have survivors and partner agencies and ourselves there, local politicians as well, and we will march to Take Back the Night. And we will this year be honoring and recognizing the serious struggles and plight of Indigenous women, and girls and their families, as well as women and children in Afghanistan who, are fighting every minute for their right to live. And we're able to have the privilege to gather and take back the night to continue to fight for our rights for safety.
And you've always had them well attended too, Erin. Who else would you like to come to these?
I think we would just like to encourage everyone to come. I mean, it doesn't matter what gender you are. It doesn't matter your experience or where you live. It's about whether or not your intention is to be part of the solution to raise awareness of violence against women and girls, to be part of the solution to end all forms of violence, and to have your voice be counted. You don't have to speak. You don't have to chant if you don't want to. It's about being part of a motion, right, of an action that's actually suggesting we stand together in solidarity to end all forms of violence. So we encourage everyone, bring your dog, bring your kids. My kids were babies when they first started attending Take Back the Night in Ottawa. So everyone is welcome.
So we've been talking together here, Erin, for years now. But during COVID, I mean, the numbers of cases of violence increased phenomenally. Is it getting any better? Do you have those numbers yet?
It's a really interesting question, and I guess Brianne could speak to that a little bit as well as the VA. I think that the numbers remain consistent. I think that as things reopen, I think we're actually going to continue to see an increase in the need for our services. I think people will be a little bit more freer to find their courage to access service and to speak out. I think that with kids being back in school, I think there will be more eyes on kids and more opportunity for kids to talk about anything that they may have been experiencing or are experiencing in their homes. So I think that we recognize that there will be a continued increase as a result of the exacerbated numbers during COVID.
And you must agree then, Brianne?
Absolutely.
Right.
I think it's just going to look a little different because before it was behind closed doors and isolated because we were told to stay at home. And now, as Erin said, women and kids are coming out of their homes and talking about it again. So yeah, it's going to look different. I think the numbers are going to go higher, actually.
And actually, the day we're taping right now is September 7th. It's the first day back to school, too. So I've always, believed that school is a safe place for children. So yes, we may be learning a little bit more as the doors are open.
Definitely.
That's right. That's right. Now, we have spoken before, Erin, too, about the Mosaic that's been going on in Almont, and it's going to be doing an unveiling.
Yes, we are very excited. We've been very fortunate. And it's a terrible thing almost to say that, during COVID, when things have been so awful, that we've been fortunate to have opportunities. And this is one of those opportunities where we had the opportunity to build hope and to have something to celebrate in our community when things were just so hard during COVID. So we're working with Red Dress Productions, that's now Redefine Arts. We worked with them before, and we unveiled a Mosaic in Carleton Place behind Town Hall. The mosaics really are rooted in sexual violence perpetrated by women and girls with a strong root and connection to Indigenous women and girls. And we were asked if we wanted to engage in a second mosaic. And we happily engaged, and it was really, really different. We had to pivot and flex, and everything was online, and design and intentions and discussions were all done virtually until our build. And August the 4th, we did a build in Almont, and it will be unveiled September the 30th. And that is also behind Old Town Hall in Almont, which is a beautiful location by the water, where there is a fountain that pays respect to the loss of Bernard Cameron in our community, where there is a musical tribute to one of our founding mothers, Fern Martin, who now resides outside of Ontario. So it's a really great fit in terms of having a place to gather and land and pay respect and reflect on the issues of sexual violence in our community. So that is very exciting. We had huge participation. We had some walk-ins with strangers off the street, and we had lots of our partner agencies participate, including the OPP ITC and various other agencies. So again, that's another event that is happening on September 30th. All are welcome and invited. And we will speak to the gendered realities of what's happening with sexual violence in our community.
All right, and another event that you usually have is sold out right now too. That's pretty exciting.
It is.
Yes, Brianne, tell us about Violet
Oh,
Femmes.
goodness. Okay, Violet Femmes. Yeah. I mean, we didn't even know if we were going to be able to pull this off this year. So we're just really excited that it's with hopeful hearts that we're going to continue to, plan and do our thing. But yeah, we're sold right out. If anything opens up, tables open up, the community will be the first to know on our webpage and our Facebook pages. So yeah, it's exciting. It feels somewhat normal to be doing this. So, but again, just with hopeful hearts.
And that's what I'm seeing right now too, and it's so nice, it's refreshing, as we open up FYI again for our 6th season, events are starting to happen. And it's so nice to be able to talk about them and actually have them happen, and people can support agencies like yours the way they have in the past.
For sure, and it looks a little different, sometimes like masking and bubbles and all of those things, but you kind of go with the flow because the cause is so great and our community is so wonderful that way. They really support our agency and the work we do and the cause, so the women and children in the community. So we're very lucky.
Excellent. And also in support of the Lanark County Interval House, you're having an AGM and you're opening it up to the public.
Yes, we're having our AGM on September the 21st. It is our second virtual AGM. And if we've learned nothing else through the pandemic, we've learned that different forums work differently for people. So we always host our AGM publicly from the perspective of anybody can be a member. But I think the virtual forum really promotes the ability for folks to join from their home and not have to go anywhere and not have to find it onerous or taxing after a long day of work or dealing with kids after school and so on. So our AGM is September 21st. I believe that is also at 6 o'clock. And you can join virtually. The information is definitely online on our Facebook page as well as our website, and it's an opportunity for us to thank our community. It's an opportunity to thank our amazing team of staff and advocates in our board of directors, but also to thank our community for supporting our agency through this last year, which was quite a challenging year in terms of what the realities were for people in our community. So yes, you can also join that. We are really trying to take that notion that Brianne was just talking about in terms of hopeful hearts and transition that in a way to be able to gather carefully and cautiously, whether that's at our As Good As New store for a Thursday evening event with the BIA, or whether that's online through a virtual AGM. We're really trying to continue to stay connected, especially as the fall starts and the kids return to school. So we just want to thank our community because it's been a difficult year, but we've had some great opportunity. And I tell you, Lanark County never fails to show up and to lend their support.
That's right. Very proud to be living here in Lanark County for sure. I'm a lifer for sure. And you mentioned too your store, As Good As New. It's open. It's taking donations. How's that working out?
You still have to call the store to make the donation, but yeah, they are taking donations.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to ask you how to get a hold of you, in case they want to know more information about Lanark County Interval House, or in case they're, in need of a crisis or anything. But is there anything you'd like to add, Erin or Brianne, before we wrap up?
I would just like to add that As Good As New certainly needs your support. Shop local, support all your local stores, because the aftermath of COVID is really something that local businesses are struggling when we need to support and shop local. So I want to say that for everybody in the business community and for As Good As New. And I want to take the opportunity to say congratulations on your 6th season. And certainly we just appreciate all the support from media and from our community to ensure that we continue to be front and center, and we really appreciate that. So thank you very much.
Oh, well, thank you too, because very proud to be here for the 6th year here, and anytime there's something going on, Erin, you're so easy to get a hold of, and you always make these interviews work for us too. So we appreciate it for sure, for sure. So how do people get a hold of you?
So you can find us on our website at lcih.org. We have a Facebook page, and on each of those pages you can find the numbers for the As Good as New store, for the shelter, for the business section of the agency. So yeah, we're out there.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Thank you very much for joining us, and good luck with taking back the night again this year, your 13th year.
Thank you so much.